Welcome to the Dinar Daily. We are dedicated to exploring the topics and conversations circulating within the community, and today we are focusing on a subject of immense discussion. The anticipation surrounding potential changes in the valuation of currencies, such as the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong, has been a significant point of focus for many individuals globally for an extended period. This long-term monitoring has built a palpable sense of expectation. In any scenario involving rapid financial change, the environment can become chaotic and emotionally charged. It is a recognized pattern that when major financial shifts occur, the landscape is often flooded with information, misinformation, and intense public reaction. This is precisely the environment where decisions made under pressure can have lasting consequences. The focus of our discussion today is not on timelines or specific values, but rather on preparedness and strategy. When a long-awaited event is discussed, human emotions like excitement, anxiety, or a fear of missing out can become powerful drivers of behavior. In financial matters, decisions driven by high emotion rather than calm, methodical planning are often cited by experts as a primary source of negative outcomes. Therefore, understanding the potential psychological and procedural pitfalls is a critical exercise for anyone observing these markets. We will be examining several commonly discussed challenges and strategic errors that individuals might face during a period of significant currency fluctuation or revaluation. One of the most frequently discussed errors is the impulse to act too quickly. Imagine a scenario where new information becomes public. The immediate, instinctual reaction for many who have waited years might be to rush to the nearest financial institution. This behavior is fueled by a natural fear of missing out or a desire to be first. However, in complex financial rollouts, being first is not always synonymous with achieving the best outcome. The initial hours or even days of such a significant event could be fraught with systemic adjustments, software updates, and potential confusion as institutions adapt to new protocols. This rush mentality can lead to several complications. Tellers and frontline bank staff might not have received a full briefing or complete training on the new procedures. The systems they rely on might be in the process of updating, leading to potential discrepancies or temporary holds. Furthermore, in a phased rollout, the rates or terms offered in the first few moments might not be the same as those that stabilize hours or days later. Acting in a state of panic or urgency removes the individual's greatest asset: the time to verify information, compare options, and ensure the transaction is being handled correctly by experienced personnel. Patience, in this hypothetical context, becomes a strategic asset. Allowing the initial dust to settle provides time for verified, official information to be disseminated through credible channels. It allows financial institutions to bring their systems fully online and properly brief their staff. A calm, measured approach permits the individual to observe, confirm the procedures, and then engage with the institution from a position of knowledge rather to a position of haste. Financial history is filled with examples where those who reacted instantly fared worse than those who waited for clarity, underscoring the old adage that patience often pays dividends. The second major area of concern involves the critical importance of vetting the institutions used for an exchange. During times of significant financial news, there is historically a sharp increase in fraudulent activity. Scammers and bad actors often emerge, seeking to exploit the excitement and confusion. These entities may create sophisticated-looking websites, form unofficial-sounding groups, or make contact through social media channels. They often promise preferential treatment such as contract rates, faster access, or rates that seem significantly better than any official source. These offers are designed to trigger a sense of greed or exclusivity. The danger here is profound. These unverified groups or private individuals often operate outside of any regulatory framework, handing over sensitive personal information or worse, the currency itself, to such an entity carries an immense risk. Once the transaction is made or the information is given, there is often no recourse. The funds and the individual's privacy are compromised. This is a tactic that preys on those who feel they have an inside track or are getting a special deal. Bypassing the official, more bureaucratic process, it is a potent lure, especially when combined with the impatience discussed earlier. The most prudent and consistently advised approach is to deal exclusively with large, recognized, and officially regulated financial institutions. These are typically major national or international banks that are connected to the central treasury systems and subject to strict government oversight. While the process at these institutions might seem more formal or take longer, it comes with the critical benefits of security, legitimacy, and accountability. If an offer from a private source seems too good to be true, it is almost certainly a red flag. Real financial transactions, especially of this magnitude, are built on verification and regulatory compliance, not on secret handshakes or exclusive online groups. This leads directly to the third critical mistake: the failure to have a comprehensive plan before an event occurs. Walking into a major financial institution during a time of high activity without a clear strategy is akin to navigating a complex negotiation without preparation. The individual is likely to be presented with several options that may sound confusing or be time-sensitive. These could include a simple cash-out, an offer to lock in a specific rate via a contract, or perhaps different types of deposit accounts with varying terms and conditions. Without prior understanding, the pressure to make an immediate decision can be overwhelming. An effective plan would be formulated well in advance, during a time of calm reflection. This strategy session should involve defining clear personal financial goals. How much liquidity is needed immediately versus how much should be set aside for long-term goals? What are the different types of accounts available and what are the pros and cons of each? For example, a fixed-rate contract might offer a specific number but could lock up the funds for a predetermined period, limiting flexibility. A simple deposit might offer more access but could be subject to different terms. Understanding these distinctions is crucial. This pre-planning phase is also the time to consider risk tolerance. A person's financial decisions should align with their comfort level regarding investment and security. A wealth-out plan provides the individual with confidence and clarity. It allows them to enter the bank and articulate their exact needs, rather than passively accepting the first option presented. This preparation effectively shifts the power dynamic, allowing the individual to manage their transaction proactively rather than being managed by the situation or the institution's preferred, and perhaps less favorable, options. The fourth major oversight, and one that can have devastating long-term consequences, is ignoring the tax and legal implications of a large financial transaction. A common misconception in many speculative communities is that profits from currency exchange are somehow tax-free, or will not be tracked by government authorities. This assumption is highly dangerous. In most jurisdictions around the world, including the United States, a significant gain from a currency exchange is treated as a taxable event. This is often categorized as a capital gain, and failure to report it properly can lead to severe financial penalties, interest charges, and significant legal trouble. This is precisely why engaging with qualified professionals before any transaction occurs is so vital. The correct professionals to consult are typically a certified public accountant (CPA) and a tax attorney, preferably individuals who have experience with large, sudden financial gains or international financial matters. They can provide clarity on the specific tax laws that apply based on the individual's jurisdiction and the nature of the asset. They can explain how to properly document the cost basis. That is, the original purchase price of the currency, which is essential for calculating the actual taxable gain. Furthermore, these professionals can discuss legal structures that may be appropriate for managing a sudden increase in wealth. Options like trusts, limited liability companies (LLCs), or other business entities are often used for asset protection, estate planning, and tax management. However, setting these up is complex and must be done correctly and legally. Attempting to hide funds or engaging in clever schemes to avoid taxes is a path that often leads to financial ruin. The goal is not tax evasion, but legal and strategic tax planning. True wealth preservation is not just about the gross amount acquired, but about the net amount legally retained. The fifth mistake is a failure of personal security and privacy, talking too much. In the event of a successful and life-changing financial exchange, the natural human impulse is to celebrate and share the news. This excitement can lead people to tell friends, extended family, or even post vague celebrations or specific details online. This is an extremely hazardous behavior. The moment an individual becomes known as someone who has come into a large sum of money, they instantly become a target. This targeting can come from various and sometimes unexpected quarters. On one hand, there are the obvious external threats. Scammers, fraudulent financial advisors, and con artists actively search for new targets. They may approach the individual with high-risk guaranteed investment schemes or make urgent-sounding pleas for money. On the other hand, a more personal and difficult challenge can arise from one's own social circle. Friends, family, or acquaintances may suddenly appear with requests for loans, handouts, or investments in business ideas. This can place the individual in a stressful and emotionally compromising position, damaging relationships and causing immense personal anxiety. Discretion is the ultimate form of security in this situation. The safest approach is to share specific financial details with as few people as humanly possible, ideally limited to a spouse and the professional legal and tax team. It means refraining from posting any hints on social media, avoiding any sudden and conspicuous changes in lifestyle, and being prepared with a simple, non-committal answer if people ask questions. Real, sustainable wealth often operates in silence. Protecting one's privacy is synonymous with protecting one's assets, and just as importantly, one's peace of mind. The sixth and final mistake is the failure to have a plan for *after* the exchange. Successfully navigating the exchange itself is only the first step. The much larger challenge, as confirmed by studies of lottery winners and others who receive sudden wealth, is keeping it. This sudden wealth syndrome is a well-documented phenomenon where individuals who are unprepared for a financial windfall often end up losing it through emotional spending, poor investments, and mismanagement. The excitement of new purchasing power can quickly overwhelm long-term financial discipline. A robust post-exchange plan is therefore essential. The first component of this plan is capital preservation. This means avoiding any large emotional purchases for a set cooling-off period, perhaps 3 to 6 months. This allows the initial adrenaline to fade and for rational, non-impulsive decisions to be made. The second component is security. Funds should not be kept in a single, easily accessible checking account. They should be spread across multiple secure accounts, possibly at different institutions, to ensure they are protected and insured. The third component is professional management. It is crucial to assemble a team of credible, licensed financial advisors. A key recommendation is to work with a fiduciary, which is a legal standard meaning the advisor is required to act in the client's best interest, rather than simply selling high-commission products. This team can help build a diversified long-term portfolio designed to generate stable returns and protect the principal. The goal must shift from getting rich to staying wealthy, which requires a complete change in mindset from that of a speculator to that of a conservative manager. A critical part of the preparation process that supports all these steps is documentation. Before any exchange event, individuals should meticulously organize all paperwork related to their currency. This includes any and all receipts or proofs of purchase from authorized dealers. This documentation is vital for establishing the cost basis for tax purposes. Without it, tax authorities might consider the entire exchange value as a gain. Organizing the physical currency itself is also important. Notes should be sorted by denomination, clean, and easily countable. Arriving at an institution with organized documents and currency presents a level of professionalism that can streamline the process. During the exchange process, this meticulousness must continue. It is wise to request any significant offer or rate in writing. Verbal promises or understandings are not binding. If a banker proposes a specific contract or account, the individual should ask for the official documentation and take time to read it, ideally outside the bank, before signing. Once a transaction is complete, all deposit slips and receipts should be double checked for accuracy before leaving the premises. Simple clerical errors can happen, especially during busy periods, and catching them immediately is far easier than trying to correct them later. Security in the digital age also extends to post-exchange fund protection. Once funds are deposited, securing those accounts is paramount. This means implementing the strongest possible security measures offered by the bank, such as two-factor authentication, complex passwords, and setting up alerts for any transaction. Dividing funds between a primary checking account with a limited balance and more secure, less accessible savings or investment accounts is a standard security practice. For significant wealth, banks often offer private client services that come with enhanced security protocols and dedicated fraud monitoring, which may be worth exploring. The topic of generosity is also a key consideration. Many individuals holding these currencies do so with the dream of helping their family, friends, and charitable causes. While this is an admirable goal, it must be managed with a plan. Giving impulsively or without boundaries can quickly deplete resources and create unhealthy dynamics. A better approach is to incorporate giving into the overall financial plan. This means setting a clear budget for philanthropy after one's own long-term security and tax obligations are fully addressed. Giving smartly, often through legal structures like trusts or foundations, ensures the generosity is sustainable and impactful without jeopardizing one's own financial future. This entire discussion revolves around a central theme: the transition from an emotional mindset to a strategic one. Waiting for a potential event fosters a community built on hope and anticipation. However, the skill set required to manage a successful outcome is entirely different. It requires discipline, research, and the ability to separate emotional excitement from rational C-suite-level decision-making. The individual must shift from being a passive observer to being the active CEO of their own finances, making calculated choices based on verified information and professional guidance. In summary, the journey of monitoring these currencies is one of patience. If that patience is ever met with a significant financial event, the challenges will shift immediately. The 6 primary pitfalls we have discussed: rushing to exchange, trusting unverified sources, having no plan, ignoring taxes, talking too much, and failing to protect the funds afterward, represent the most common ways that a positive outcome could be turned into a negative one. Each of these mistakes is rooted in emotional reaction rather than logical preparation. Avoiding these errors requires a proactive stance. It involves doing the quiet, unexciting work of preparation long before it is needed. This includes researching legal and tax structures, organizing documentation, and defining personal financial goals. It means understanding that in the event of a major financial shift, the calmest, most organized, and most informed individuals will be the ones who are best positioned to navigate the process successfully. The transformation from waiting to acting is a test of discipline. The individuals who succeed will not necessarily be the ones who are first in line, but the ones who are the most prepared. They will have a plan, they will have a professional team, and they will operate with discretion and patience. This mindset of preparedness is the ultimate protection for any financial future. Thank you for joining us at the Dinar Daily as we continue to explore the topics that matter to this community.